Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. The biggest damp squib you will ever see, I think. That was a game that was built up to be so much, but turned out to be absolutely nothing. I mean, United have to be the team going away from Liverpool there, the happier out of the two. I was just doing a watch-along with Craig. They are absolutely fuming right now, Liverpool fans. They are just gone. They cannot believe what they have just watched, how their front line has just failed. Welcome along to Forever United TV. Did everyone see this one coming? I mean, I didn't see it coming. I think we went, hopefully, for a draw. Said everyone would take a 0-0 right now if you offered it us. That was early on in the week. But wow, tonight we got a different United. Joining me along after every game, as always, I've got my man, Jay Daly. Jay, welcome. Welcome along, mate. What do you reckon? First thoughts, Jay. Straight out of it, 0-0. I didn't see that coming, mate. Did you?
I think, Adam, anybody that says now in hindsight they saw it was all coming is a blatant liar. It was like watching two overweight, out of shape heavyweights, middle of the ring, a bit of holding, a bit of hugging, a bit of kissing. I imagine Craig was probably doing his nut in. I've never seen Liverpool being so bad at home. Like before today, they had 11 wins and 35 goals after this season, which is phenomenal. Here we are today, and we get a point off them. There was times, Adam, I must admit, I was struggling to stay awake. But it's a point that we never thought we'd get. And had we, just say hypothetically today, had we lost, well, Mr. HAG still was going nowhere because nobody in the club has the authority to get rid of him. So it's a point, and we take it and we move on. But nobody envisions that, absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I mean, 0-0. We said our best chance was to do a Jose Mourinho, part the bus. Our first draw of the season as well. Well pointed out in the chat as well. It was. If there was a ground at a time of a season when we were so bad, I would have taken it there. That was a draw that we really, really needed. We desperately needed something from that game. Ten Hag, I would say, has basically saved his job there in a way. There's no way that there's no way at all that Ten Hag is going anywhere right now. Guys, just let me know, is Jay's volume up or down? Just let me know which is best. I'll have a mess with it and try and fix it for you guys. Just let me know in the chat. We'll work along with it right now. But yeah, Ten Hag, I feel, set his team out, Jay, to be hard to beat. Set his team out to say, look, let's just try and get what we can out of this game. That's how it looked from the start, and that's how it ended up. We ended up keeping a clean sheet at Anfield, which is a first for a very long time.
Yeah, I think for me, Amrabat, even though he is limited in some respects, his tackle today after 55 seconds set the tone. And then he made a clearance then when Onana almost cost us one. And I think today Amrabat's tackle set the tone. He was like a dog in heat in the first couple minutes today. He set the tone. And then who'd have thought, Adam, the centre-back partnership you never thought you needed, Johnny Evans and your man Varane.
Yeah, well,
I thought they were minutes today.
That was it. I thought them two were our best players today. By the way, guys, I will be doing a player rating show after this one, which will go up on the channel, so we're not going to get into the player ratings too much just now, but we'll talk about individual performances today, and definitely what Jay picks up there. Quick super chat though from Zaymi. Thanks for helping Arsenal win the league. Oh, the worst thing you could have said there, Zay, mate. Don't even go there. You have cursed yourself. Welcome to the members club, Steve Nolan. You are an automatic legend of the channel. Thank you, my friend. If you want to press the join button or drop down into the link, then just do that for us, guys, and that will be fantastic. Any contribution is always welcome. But yes, please just bear with us with the sound, everybody. Jay's isn't coming across too well at the moment. We'll try and do our best with that. But yeah, today I think Jay called it man of the match for Raphael Varane. Lo and behold, how many times have I been saying it? We get Bayern Munich, we get Liverpool. Ten Hag brings Raphael Varane back into the side, and now we start looking like we've got a defensive unit again. all of a sudden everyone turns up. We play as a defensive unit, but leading that was Raphael Varane for me today. He was standout for me. I thought he showed his experience, calm, collected, won everything he could in the air, all the crosses, and Liverpool were pounding the crosses in again. But yeah, I feel like today that defence came of age, and I feel like it was a win for our defensive setup more than what it was in terms of our overall performance going forward, because there wasn't much there. But Johnny Evans, Varane, Jay, you mentioned both of them there. They were the linchpin of this team today.
Yeah, they were, because that midfield of Amrabat and young Manu, who I thought was excellent as well. Personally, I wouldn't have taken him off. I'd taken off Scott, but that's another story. Imagine you're a young kid, and we said in previous shows, who does Manu have in the game to talk to him, communicate with him, tell him, no, step left, step right, 5 yards forward, 5 yards back. Well, today he had Johnny and Raphael behind him. And if you're a young player, the security mentally that gives you, I thought for me today as well, Manu, that was his best game ever on the shirt. I think somebody sent me a tweet saying that the youngest ever player to play for United, make a debut at Anfield, was him today.
Yeah.
So I think you deserve credit as well. I know Varane would get all the plaudits, but Manu deserves credit also.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he was dealing with a lot there today. Unfairly got a yellow card, in my opinion, as well. Jake, can we just jump out and try and get you back in again? Just so we can try and fix your sound, because I think it's coming across quite bad for a lot of people on the stream. But if you could just jump out and then come back in, I'll try and bring you back in as soon as you come back, buddy. Yes, sorry guys, I'm just adjusting things right now. Bear with me 1 second. I'm back on my own there a little bit. Yep. Sorry, we will get Jay's sound fixed. It has been a bit of a struggle for him recently with it. We're just trying to sort that out. But yes, we have to get another opinion on the show, I think. But yeah, we'll get into what I thought was the win for Manchester United today. There were negatives there, obviously, the style of play. Not having anything up front at all. That one moment, that one move when we broke up the pitch, I played about 7 or 8 passes together and we got through, and Højlund was clean through. Probably the best chance of the game for both sides as well. I think even Craig was saying that at that point. So I think for Manchester United, looking at it defensively, with leaked goals, we've looked like we've been easy to bypass recently, and you would have thought that Manchester United would have been an easy target for Liverpool today. You'd have thought it would have been easy pickings, but it wasn't. Manchester United came through that game and actually came out with plaudits for their defensive work. I thought Luke Shaw was good. I was surprised about Dalot. I thought Dalot would have struggled today against Diaz, and he didn't. He was absolutely superb again. So I look at it and I go, I have to take the positive from it in a way that defensively was great, even though we created absolutely nothing and never looked like we even wanted to. It was a graveyard shift for Højlund. He did everything he possibly could. Anthony was poor in the first half, but then made up for it a bit in the second. I thought he was better. Substitutions probably came at the right time for me, and I thought in the end, overall, it was a good performance from United and a much-needed morale-boosting draw. I know it's first draw of the season. 0-0s never go down well, but Manchester United, I mean, come on, the way we're playing at the moment, a draw at Anfield, that has to be the best 0-0 draw we could get. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy. It's if we can use this as a momentum booster moving forward now. That's the big question. We need to be able to use this. I'm just going to try and bring Jay back into the room. Hopefully, I can do. If you guys just bear with me a second, I'll keep talking. But who did you guys think? Who was the standout performer for you? I want to know who you thought was that one man today. And what did we think of Scott McTominay? What did we think of Scott in terms of his performance today as captain of Manchester United? Did he lead by example? Was he left wanting? I didn't think he was great. I think he stayed on the pitch because he was the captain. And that for me isn't good enough for Manchester United. I don't think it is. I mean, honestly, Scott McTominay's captain was a concern for me at the start. I thought a captain automatically needs to lead by example. He needs to lead by example in his performance on the pitch. I thought, for me, he was found wanting He really was. And again, I will just say now, I mean, I'm happy for him. We got the good result, and we go away the happier of the two sides. I'll get into the Liverpool reaction in a minute, but Jay, I'm hoping that your sound is a little bit better. I'm just going to bring you back in on Scott McTominay now, and you thought of our performance of our captain today.
Okay, so I've made no secret over the last couple of years of my disdain for Scott in the United shirt. Now, I know Jose gave me his break back in, I think it was 2017, 2016, but I think he's shown his level. He's not the level we expect. Apologies. Okay, bad timing. People always ring at a bad time. So no, today, the only captain today, Adam, I'm sure you'd agree with me, would have been Mr. Varane.
Yep.
Or Johnny Evans. Definitely not Scott. But when we saw Scott at, doing the the pre-match press conferences during the week, and also before Bayern, has he become now almost like the favoured son of Ten HAG, the same way that Solskjaer treated him as well? Like, this guy in the training ground, he must be playing like Roy Keane, because every manager picks him.
Does.
You're right, wouldn't.
Does.
And you're correct in your point. He's still on the pitch because he was captain. Is that what we're used to? You have two leaders in Brian Evans, which you touched on. So I'd ask the people in the live chat, if Scott's not a 6, he's not an 8, he's definitely not a 10, then everyone's live chat, why Scott McTominay? Where do you play him?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It's a difficult one with Scott McTominay for all managers, it seems. I don't know what it is that they're doing. Sorry, he has got. Let me just check. Sorry, mate. I'm having real issues with your sound right now. I'm just getting pounded by messages, mate. Bear with me a second with it. I'm just trying to think here now how we work this. Bear with me a second, guys. We're having a bit of a nightmare with Jay's sound. But yeah, I've just muted Jay's on there a minute just so I can say my piece on this one. Scott McTominay, I didn't agree with him being captain in the first place. I didn't agree with him being picked several weeks over the last few games for Manchester United. I really didn't. But he's come in today. He's captain. He's probably going to get plaudits because of the result. He's going to get plaudits because Manchester United stopped Liverpool's momentum and really affected their charge for the Premier League. I mean, Aston Villa won. Arsenal won today. So they're behind Arsenal again now. Arsenal are back top of the league. And Manchester City are looking back on that draw with Crystal Palace and going, well, at least one team above us didn't take advantage of it. And everyone expected them to take advantage of it today. Everyone expected Liverpool to beat Manchester United. It wasn't a great performance from Liverpool. I'll go into their side of things now. I've just left Craig alone from the watch-along. I don't know if you guys came over. If you did, thank you very much for bringing your support. There wasn't much to talk about, to be honest, but Craig was absolutely fuming how inept Liverpool were and how they couldn't break us down. We really, really struggled to get out, but Liverpool, and I can't remember a significant save for Onana at all in the game. Maybe the header from Van Dijk in the first half was the biggest one that he had to deal with. And honestly, I don't think he had much to do at all. Liverpool going out of that game, the fans were absolutely fuming with that result. And Manchester United have done a job on them there, big time. Completely done a job on them. And I do think that Manchester United now are definitely got to look at that game and go, why? Why did we perform like that against Liverpool as a team and we can't do it against the lesser teams? Why are we not able to make that balance work? Why can't we make that defence be that solid and bring in a decent attack? We haven't got that midfield. That's why. The defence was good today, but the midfield offered us nothing. I disagree with what Jay was saying with Amrabat. I thought he was poor today. I think his pass succession was absolutely horrendous. And every issue we had, I thought, in the first half, especially came from him. He did improve in the second half. He started to grow into the game a bit. But in the end, I thought he was one of our really, really poor performers. So, for me, I looked at Amrabat. And yeah, I think we have to look forward and just hope that some of our injuries come back for that midfield and we can start to build around that defence with a better midfield. Jay, can you just turn off your YouTube in the other room or whatever else you've got on as well? Just leave this on, mate. Just to make sure. And try and bring you back in on that. Let's just try Jay again now.
I'm gonna change earphones now, okay?
Okay, mate, you go for that, buddy.
Okay, all right.
Alright, so let's try getting Jay back working again. We need to get his opinion on this one. I'm just going to go through some of your comments quickly. Poor, nothing special. Structure helped us today, mainly. And Acrobat sat in well. No Bruno all over Highland, no. This guy looking shaky. I don't know what that message meant there. It was kind of mixed up. Varane was captain today. The players believe in him. The difference when he comes in is amazing. Let's carry on like this. Just take out McTominay and replace him with Dan Gore. Easier said than done. Jay, can we try you again, mate?
Now, Adam, I've gone old school here. Bloody hell, these are the son's fucking earphones. So, how is this?
Let's try it. Let me know how Jay's sound is for everyone in the chat as well. We're trying our best. We want to get Jay's opinion on this one. We've struggled so far, but yeah, let's try it. But guys, do give the video a like as well, guys. We're trying our best to make this work. But Jay, your thoughts on, obviously, we talked about Scott McTominay, but what we're saying regarding, I'm going to bring up now, Diogo Dalot, a player that I thought was going to struggle today against Diaz as well.
I was actually surprised at Dalot. Physically, I think he's limited. He's a better crosser than that Armo Bissaka. Bissaka's better defensively, but today, I think Dalot played way above what we've seen of him in previous games. So today we can only give Dalot credit, and I think we're very quick to criticise players, but we also have to give him credit when it's due. So today Dalot surprised me today.
Yeah, good performance from him. Strong, and I just thought, you know what, Dalot in for big criticism recently. I feel like he has underperformed massively as part of this defence, but you know what, I've got to give him his credit today. I thought he was decent. I thought he actually played his part, he played his role in the team, and it worked. It works. It worked really well, and for me, I was never really worried like I thought I would be. It was strange. It was strange how Dalot actually looked so comfortable today. I don't know what was wrong with the Liverpool forwards. Diaz has come in for a bit of criticism. He was hauled off as well. Nunez got pelters from the Liverpool fan base. Craig was loving how he was just caught offside continuously. I was loving that as well. It was like the best entertainment I've had so far this season watching United, seeing Craig in a meltdown. He was fully bullish and expecting a comfortable Liverpool win in this game, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen for him, and I think that's just because Ten Hag pulled out a Jose. That's what he did. He pulled out a Jose, and it worked for us. It worked a treat. Unfortunately, we just didn't have that one moment going forward. But yeah, where do we go from here in terms of Manchester United and how we actually use this? That's the big question now. Can we actually use the momentum and get something more out of this team? Can we actually use the defensive setup that we've got there? Does Dalot keep his place now when Harry Maguire is fit? That is the big question, Jay. Do we keep Harry Maguire out of the team now?
I think, Adam, for me, that's always going to be a rhetorical question, asking me to keep Harry Maguire on the team. I wouldn't have him on the team bus, they're low on the pitch. So the question I would go back to, is we've been looking all season for that tipping point performance. Now today, obviously, we didn't get it in goals, but to keep Liverpool front three, keep them quiet for 90 odd minutes. Dalot to step up, plough his skin. We already discussed Varane and Evans. Personally, today, I didn't think Shaw was fantastic. I thought he was nice best game. To be honest with you, I didn't agree with him at all today. But clean sheet away at Liverpool when nobody expected it. Is this a tipping point now we can kick on over the next 2 weeks around Christmas and get 9 points out of possible 9, because our fixtures are quite handy on paper.
Yeah, that is it. I mean, I looked at this today as a tough game. That and West Ham, Villa at home, tough games to come. I think we're going to have to be as solid at the back as we have today in them games as well. I really do. I don't think we're going to get it easy in either of them games. I'm probably more worried about the West Ham game away from home than I am the Aston Villa game. But you just got to look at what Manchester United did today in that game, and then look at Ten Hag. And someone's already mentioned it in the comment section there that Ten Hag's game management today worked as well. Substitutions, I thought, were at the right time. I thought he managed it well in bringing Palestri on, who looked after the ball well. Antony, he gave him his chance. The first half, I thought he was shocking. He offers absolutely nothing, but his defensive work, I think, in the second half kept him on the pitch. He had a couple of moments where he played a decent ball across in a counter-attack or a transition, and then ultimately it looked in the end like he'd just blown out. He was tiring, and I think Ten Hag made the change at the right time. Hannibal was a risky one, but again, Mainu had run his socks off, and Jay said it there. He was absolutely immense, superb. Looked like the most composed player on the park early doors in the game. First half, when everyone was flapping, and it looked like we were playing with a hot potato, and no one could keep hold of the ball, Kobe Mainu was the one man that I thought that actually stood out and was counted. He looked composed. I thought he was unlucky, like I said before, to get that yellow card, which sort of took a little bit away from his game, because it wasn't that yellow card fest, red card game that Oliver made it. The red card at the end for Dalot was absolutely ridiculous. He threw his hands in the air twice at a poor decision, which was obvious, and Oliver wanted to steal the headlines from what was a crap game. It was an absolute joke for me. I'm just going to get into some of the chat now, see what you guys think. Let me just say, Simpson said, Holland runs around a lot. How many players have we had like this? Grandkids run around a lot too. I mean, to be honest, he was on the graveyard shift, Highland. He was feeding off scraps, and he had that one chance. If it went low, I thought we were winning the game. That would have been immense. To stay quiet all game like he was, not through a fault of his own. He was trying to get in the game. He was doing what he could. And I've got to give him a little bit of room in terms of criticism. I understand the argument of him running around a lot and him not offering much and not scoring any goals, but he did work hard today, and he had no support at all. He was literally 10 men behind the ball, and then Hoyland hopefully turned out and got us something. But you know what? Still, he gave what he could. And if he did put that chance away, it would have been a completely different conversation altogether right now. I'm just gutted for him. Oliver wanted content for Match of the Day tonight, says Barrett. Yes. Christopher Whitaker, just call all United fans now. Get all behind the team. None of you gave your team a chance. Worst fans in the league. Oh, Christopher. Boo-hoo. Yeah, was you sat there against Bournemouth? Was you sat there against Bayern Munich? No, I don't think you was you? So shut up, Christopher. Not the worst fans in the world. We got behind the team. We tried to give him a chance. Today they turned up because they had to. And they could not allow Liverpool to do another 7-0. The fact that Liverpool had about 10 times more shots than us counts for nothing, does it not? No. We did a job today. We got through a game away from home. We took a point off a top 6 side, which we're struggling to do away from home, and we move on from here. This isn't the game that you judge United on. They turned up because they had to turn up. Now let's see what happens against West Ham. Can they do the same again? Can they get up for it? They did it against Chelsea, failed against Bournemouth. Did it against Liverpool. Are they going to do the same against West Ham as well? I mean, Jay, it's how we come back from this now. West Ham next. Can we see a different performance again? Is this where United have been failing ultimately?
Okay, so Christopher there has called us the worst fan base in the league. Christopher, all we want is for the team to turn up week in, week out consistently. It's all we ask. That's the bare minimum. And since I think since the Carabao Cup last season, Adam, I would argue that team hasn't gone out of third gear.
No, we haven't.
And we're getting performances, maybe one game in 4 or 5 games we get performance. That's not good enough. So, Christopher, we just want the team to perform week in, week out, and give the minimum of effort. And today, they gave the maximum effort, and the result is we get a point against Liverpool. So your comment, we take it on board, but I think it's unfair. To your point, Adam, about moving on, we'll see next week. Today, green shoots, but we saw against Chelsea, and here we were then last week bemoaning the performance against West Brom. So I'm not going to lose the run of myself. The fact that we got a draw today against Liverpool, I got to see this game week in, week out between now and May. And Adam, I don't believe we actually will. That's the unfortunate thing.
No, this is it. This now comes down to the consistency factor with Manchester United. I feel like right now, Ten Hag needs to use this going forward. I don't think he can change that defensive setup right now. I would gladly hold my hands up and say I got it wrong with Dalot. I got it wrong with Johnny Evans. Luke Shaw, you can argue, was hot, was cold today, but he was there where we needed him. I think Johnny Evans and Varane now, after drawing against Liverpool, stopping Liverpool at Anfield. I mean, when was the last team to actually get a clean sheet? Who was it to get a clean sheet at Anfield? We did it today and we nearly snuck it in the end. So you have to think of this and look at this as a massive, massive positive for Manchester United. But can Ten Hag now use this? He cannot go into the West Ham game the same. It's a different animal. He learned today from the mistakes that he made against Liverpool last season. He kept the players focused. He kept them tight. He kept the shape well. And he managed the game out well. But that's to be defensive. Manchester United are not a defensive team. We are supposed to be challenging for the title. We're supposed to be challenging for all the best honours. You cannot carry on playing like this. Yeah, one games, you do it. Ferguson did it. Ferguson did it in Barcelona. Ferguson's done it at Anfield and Arsenal and City loads of times. He shut up shop. Jose Mourinho was the master at it. And look how many trophies they've won between them. You have to now look at the next game and go, right, West Ham, what can we do here? We worked Liverpool out. We made them cross the ball and they fired blanks. We kept it narrow. We pushed them into positions they're not comfortable with. And like I said, Onana had nothing to do. Absolutely nothing to do. A couple of saves for the cameras, I called him. He made a meal out of a couple of them. But yeah, moving forward, that was the good side of Manchester United. The bad side, I would say, only comes if we don't use this in the next game and try and work it differently against West Ham in a way where we know what our strengths are. We need to play a bit more on the front foot. Amrabat has been forced into playing more and more games. Will he come good in the end? Does Bruno Fernandes come back in now? I mean, Jay, I'm going to ask you that question now. Everyone said United will be better without Bruno. Defensively today we was, but does he come back in for the West Ham game?
That's a great point. Okay, so today we had Scott playing 10. And I asked in the chat, is Scott a 6 and they're 10 because I don't know what he is. Yeah. So logic would dictate you don't change a team that's playing performance. Would Bruno have had the mindset today to keep the shape and not run around and chase after? So sometimes Bruno, he's like, a small dog that's been at home all day, studying doors up, runs out, and he's chasing cars. You've always seen him, where you live. But Bruno, he's a bit like that. He's like a little terrier. Loads of effort, but effort in the wrong areas at the wrong times. I said last week that his stats are predicated on the lockdown season, when we're getting penalties nearly every second game. So would I change the team next week? Apart from McTominay, probably not. Rashford doesn't start. Bruno, I wouldn't start him. I'd let him on the bench. Bring him on as an impact sub because we really don't have a bench. And just your final point there, 0-0 today. It was a classic Josie Park to bus, but unfortunately we have a striker who's young, inexperienced, and that chance he had, if he was knocking in goals last couple of games, he scored that. And I'm sure you, Adam, everybody watching, they wanted him today to have his Diego Forlan moment. Yeah. Remember Forlan couldn't hit a barn gate, and then out of nowhere, he pops up against Liverpool and scores 2. And today, everybody wants that for Hoyland. At some point, it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen against West Ham next week. But right now, change that team? No, I'll leave it as it is. And the comments will probably go crazy. Oh, Jay, what are you saying? Bring Bruno back? No, I'm not changing your thing. I'm not changing your thing.
See, this is the challenge for Ten Hag now. This is, I think, Ten Hag's biggest challenge, because everyone has seen what Manchester United can do as a unit. Maybe Bruno's playing more of an individual. I mean, I can't criticise Bruno's effort. I think it needs to be reined in. But why can't Erik Ten Hag handle Bruno Fernandes? Why can't Erik Ten Hag handle Bruno's energy and the way he plays? You've got a player there that will give you absolutely everything, every single game, and you cannot figure that out. I mean, Ole worked him out brilliantly, but that was detriment to the way we played. Counter-attacking football, Bruno spearheading every single attack. He was the linchpin. He was the one that started every single move. Ole had him figured out, and I've got to give Ole his credit for that. He played it around Bruno. Right now, Ten Hag isn't playing on building a team around Bruno. He is our best player, in my opinion. But we cannot play Ten Hag's way with Bruno Fernandes in the side, I don't think. I just want him to be able to get out of him what Portugal do. The disciplined Bruno Fernandes performance that really adds to his game. There was one game, I think, it was Chelsea actually, where Bruno didn't do much and probably had his best game. I said in that game against Chelsea, Bruno Fernandes, even though he missed a penalty, I wasn't upset with his performance. I thought he actually had one of his good games because he was just doing Bruno. He's bringing Bruno energy, but in the right areas. He wasn't trying to do everyone else's job. And today, no one came out of position. Everyone kept shape, and Liverpool could not break it down. Craig said to me at the start, he says, Liverpool have struggled against low block teams. They've struggled to break them down. We have no idea. I don't even know what we do in training. That's what came out of Craig's mouth. This was from a team that was sitting top of the league before the start of play today. They weren't playing great, but they were finding ways to win. And we're scoring at will. I mean, you don't have to look at the last few games and how many goals Liverpool have scored. They're right up there. And this just shows today that this team has got something in them to handle the big occasion and can handle a team like Liverpool. But how come it took Liverpool? How come it took Ten Hag hanging on to his job and desperately needing to not be smashed 5 or 6-0 like every other player, like every other pundit, everyone was thinking it was going to be? For me, today showed that he has got another side to his managerial game, Erik Ten Hag. We can play a different way. Super chat in from Drosky says, give a proper structure to Ten Hag and he will thrive. Well, this is it. This is like now we get to a stage, right, okay, we've got through the biggest test. I think this result, personally, has given Ten Hag quite a lot of space. It's given him quite a lot of leeway, a lot of credit in the bank. If he gets through this year now, and then obviously we start seeing Sir Jim Radcliffe's proposal come through and everyone starts to see what this new structure can be, can we move forward from here with Ten Hag? Well, no one wants to see him go. We all know that he has got something. There'll be some that disagree with that, but obviously they're just looking at the results, and I understand that. I do. I've said that myself before. You cannot afford to lose 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. But can you recover that? Can you actually turn out a performance against Liverpool, who smashed us to pieces last year, and the team just looked disinterested? Was this team today, Jay, did it show to you that they can be disciplined and they can actually play a different type of game? And does it give you any hope for Ten Hag that he can actually get a tune out of this team?
Okay, Adam, a lot to unpack there. Well, discipline today, we saw it can be achieved, unfortunately, when Bruno was not playing.
Yeah.
The team was disciplined. They kept their shape, and Craig alluded to the fact that Liverpool don't do well against low block teams. So Ten Hag today literally out-tacticked, if that's even a word, Klopp today.
Yeah.
Adopting Jose ball, and which is literally you go and take a goal from a set piece or one counter attack, but you tuck in, keep it tight, and sit in a 0-0. And frustrate opposition. And what happens then? The home crowd will turn on their own players, and frustration develops, and then Liverpool at the end there were shooting from city angles. So going forward, the question I have, Adam, where do our goals come from? That's our issue. If the back four, he's got to skip that back four now until Martinez comes back. And I know Dalot today was immense. Shaw, I thought, nice best game, but that back four now, he's got to play 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
0-0, don't change it. Your issue then is, I know you touched on Amrabat. He's slowing the ball, passing range is limited. But when you're sitting back in a low block, does Amrabat need a big passing range? Probably not, but he was poor today. But he's tackling, he's ball winning. I think is levels above Scott McTominay. But then you left them with Scott McTominay as a 10. I can't believe I'm even saying a sentence. Which leads into who's going to feed our strikers. Anthony can cross, won't cross. Garnacho is in development. And I thought he was quiet today, to be fair to Garnacho. He was very quiet. So even if you bring back in Rashford, stick him in the wing, we're left in with the frustration of Rashford.
Yeah.
So my issue going forward for Ten Hag is, where do the goals come from? And agreed, nobody wants, well, the more mature fans, the fans that aren't knee-jerk, don't want to see him sacked. They don't. Like 4 years ago, tomorrow, Mourinho got sacked after losing 3-1 at Liverpool. We are only 2 points better off now than we were 4 years ago in the league. 1 game less played, but we were still in Champions League, and he got the bullet. So you want Ten Hag here at least till May, and then build. And ironically, Adam, I think us not playing European football from February, March on is the best thing in disguise. He now finally has time in the training ground. Players will get recovery, and injuries, in theory, should be minimised. And he might finally settle on a set in 11 I should say, that can fight for top 4.
Yep.
If we're within 2-3 points of top 4 come March, all to play for.
That's it. That is it. That interesting one there. Go through a couple of super chats quickly before we move on. Anana was great tonight, says DJ John. I'll touch on him in a minute, actually. Another super chat in from Jens says, Erik ten Hag was saved by a horrible Liverpool Football Club. Highland is nothing. Same with Antony. And can anybody tell me the Erik ten Hag style of football? I think there's a little bit of saltiness in there, Jens. But I understand what you're saying. We're all asking the same questions. But from where United were before this game, I think we're taking that and trying to use it like what Jay said there. I think a moment to maybe move forward on the training ground with Ten Hag. Maybe we're going to see a little bit of coaching. We're going to see players fully rested. There's going to be no excuse whatsoever. The fact that now we don't play until the West Ham game, which is another week ahead, a full week off for the players. This is where United now need to start taking advantage. This is where United need to actually start seeing what Ten Hag can do. Maybe no European football at all is the best thing that happened with Ten Hag. He can fully concentrate, like he said in that press conference after going out to Bayern Munich. I didn't agree with what he said. I don't think it was right. You cannot say so blasé in a press conference that we can now concentrate on just the Premier League and every other competition we're in. We're just falling at the first hurdle of the Champions League, pretty much the same with the Carabao Cup, in which we hold. You can't say that as a Manchester United manager. We should be challenging on all fronts constantly, all the time. But with the way that Manchester United's ownership is right now, the structure and everything, I think Ten Hag has got through a result which is going to give him the time to maybe improve this team. A fully fresh, prepared team every single week for just Premier League games is a different team to trying to find something with 2 days rest in between multiple games like it was last season. It was all new last season. I think now, and the prime example of this is Ange Postecoglou. A bit of time on the training ground. No Europe, no Carabao Cup, just Premier League football. And yeah, they've got their injuries and they've had a little bit of a dip in form, but ultimately we're seeing what a manager can do. Ten Hag now, I don't think, has got any excuse. He's got out of it. He's okay. He's survived, I feel, after today's result. And now moving forward, we need to see more from Ten Hag. And like Jenska says there, I know it's a jab from a Liverpool fan, but can anybody tell me Erik ten Hag's style of football? Well, now, I don't feel that there is any excuse for Ten Hag. We need to see that style of football. We've got a poll up in the chat right now. Does Bruno come back into the team after today's display? 74% of the people saying yes. Jay, does Bruno Fernandes come straight in and replace the captain Scott McTominay, or would you feel Mainu or Amrabat are at threat for Scott McTominay's position if, in fact, Bruno takes the captaincy back off Scott?
Okay, I do not want Amrabat or Mainu to be dropped. Amrabat is limited, I take that, but I play him above McTominay. Mainu is obviously a rising star. He has to play above Scott. So if a player of those three comes out for Bruno, well then Scott is the only option. But I would still, next week, start Bruno off the bench, let it go for 60 minutes, and just see what happens. Just see. 60 minutes, if it's not working, or go down, or still 0-0 dour, then bring Bruno on. Just see what happens. End of the day, Adam, nothing to lose. We're out of the Champions League. We focus now just on the Premiership, as we discussed. So Ten Hag has nothing to lose. And that being said, if come May, Ten Hag with one game a week, finishes 7th or 8th, then he has to go.
Yeah, I mean, that for me is fair. I mean, Bruno now has to look at this, and do you know what? In Bruno's defence in all of this, I actually feel like he will look at this now and go, yeah, you know what? The team's performed. We've got a great result. It's not a great result. It's a very, very good result away from home at Liverpool. City, Arsenal, Villa, anyone. Villa got beat 3-0 at Anfield this season. Everyone has lost. I don't know how many teams have taken anything away. We'll see how Arsenal fare when they play against Liverpool. But Manchester United have shown something today as a team, and that's what we've not done. It's been individual performances, pulling us out of crap performances and just getting us by. Today, I felt, even though we didn't offer anything up front, apart from the one moment for Højlund, I felt we played as a team. I thought we were together today. And that's the positive I'm taking from this. I feel like we are moving forward as a team from today's result, only if, obviously, like I said before, we can now back this up against West Ham. Having had a full week's rest and a full preparation on the training ground, like Jay said, from Ten Hag, this is now the biggest thing for Ten Hag moving forward. This is probably the biggest moment in his Manchester United career. Forget winning the Carabao Cup. This is everything right now. I feel like today has just given him that lease of life to now go forward and try and do something with this team. I really do think it was that big today. Super chat in from Jensk again. Cheers for that, Jensk. By the way, I won 400 quid on first yellow to Nunes and draw result. Wow, that was a good bet. Well done to you, Jens. Thanks for the super chat and sharing some of them winnings with us, by the way. Brilliant stuff. But yeah, guys, that pretty much is, that's the reaction. There's not much more to say. I did want to touch on, obviously, Anana there. Credit to him, another clean sheet. And at Liverpool as well. Was solid in his saves today. Couple of moments with his kicking that weren't great, but overall, I thought he had a decent game. I will be doing a player ratings video, which will be coming out later tonight as well, guys. So stay tuned for that. That will be recording and up very, very soon. But Jay, thank you very much for coming on. We've had issues with the sound, my man. It's not been an easy one, but we got there in the end, and so did the boys. Cheers for coming on, my man. How do we get hold of you on Twitter, pal?
On Twitter, for the sarcasm, JD Mourinho.
Brilliant stuff. Cheers for that, Jay, mate. Absolute pleasure. We will work out on that sound and quality. We'll get him some decent setup ready to go, because everyone loves Jay's opinion on it. But guys, that is us done and dusted. Cheers for tuning in. It was a good day, I thought, for Manchester United today. We got through it. Not as bad as what we thought it was going to be. And we move forward. We're not too far away. West Ham and Villa up next. Big games. Can we back up a decent performance that we got today with another one against them? That is the question. Nomad, welcome to the Members Club. Just before we finish, brilliant stuff, guys. Thank you for all your contributions, everyone. Super chats, new members, everyone today, absolutely brilliant. Everyone who came over and watched me on Anfield Agenda. It was a bit different, not the norm today. Appreciate how awkward it might have felt going over on a Liverpool channel, but we are you know what? We're just working together. It's good stuff, and it's good, friendly rivalry, and that's what it's all about. Well, guys, good stuff as always. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. Maybe you could even watch Match of the Day tonight. But for now, that is it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back later on with the player ratings from this game, a new segment that I'm bringing in. I hope you like it. And yeah, cheers for